All right, all right. Hey, I see Colin. I see you. I see Simon and Seven. Let me know if you guys can hear me. And I see an Edwin. Do as Edwin says. Sign up for the Ace. Get on his mailing list. All right, what we got going on here is a page from Hammerella. I've got it in my Procreate in my 9.5-inch tiny tablet here. But we're going to do this. All right, hear me loud and clear. I'm going to set up our palette. Where is the Hammerella palette? It's not in alphabetical order. There it is. Set as default. And we are going to give ourselves a color layer here. Flats. Gonna label it. Whoa! Sorry, new camera setup. Hit it with my elbow. Sorry for that shakiness. All right, let's go in with the flats. All right, I may not talk quite as much while I'm doing this. This is a test, the first time I've done something like this, so we'll see how it goes. All right, Eric Housel, Christian Nomad, what's up, brothers? Ready to watch magic happen. That's a good page. Those wolves are very cool. Thank you, Simonin. I was pretty happy with the wolves design. It took me a long time to come up with them, but they basically are evil versions of like Disney wolves. Let's see, got a freehand. And this is how we do it. I sort of do this like tapping method. All right, go around as such. I think my camera might be shaking too much. I might have to attach it to something different. I attached it to my desk thinking it would be nice and smooth. We'll give it a minute, see how still I can be. All right, we're gonna close off a big section of her skin like that. Whoops. We're gonna go in here and I'm gonna be selecting, excuse me, all the, whoops. I'm gonna jump back, made a little mistake here. Accidentally touched way over here to start the selection, my bad. There we go. So I am going to select all the pieces of skin first, anything that's the same color, so then I can just drop that color in once, and we're done with that color. Now I do sort of a half draw, half tap method. So like here, I kind of drew, traced under the black line, traced under, and then as I go around this top part, I just kind of tapped. Wherever you can have the smooth line, but if you feel like your line's going to get shaky, like when I cut across there, I cut into her sock a little because I tried to do it smooth, but should have been a tap and a bounce. All right, I think I've selected everything that is her skin tone. So we'll go in and fill that. There we go. It does look like that, huh, Razmaz? I actually even had a scene where she was using it as a torch, this like branch spear she uses, and it totally looked like a joint that was lit up. Hey, Josh R., one of my favorite regulars in the joint. And let's see. Sorry, I'm doing some brain work here. I've got to figure out how to make my layer work properly. There we go. Sorry. All right, so back to the business at hand. Now we're going to handle her garb. Now, all of the clothing she is wrapped in is all stuff that's basically made from the baby blanket that she was left on this planet in. I already broke my coloring rule right in front of you guys. I filled in a color without selecting all the areas first. And her belt is a little bit different of a color. So when you're going in with your second color on Procreate, you don't have to be as careful. So I can select like this, and then I can cut into that purple area. And then when I go to drop the color in, it won't fill in that purple area unless you've got it turned way up. Let's see. Whatever. My example's not working now. Darn it. All right, so we'll fill in all those. Then we'll go in with the darker orange for her belt, or an orangier yellow. And this we can just select like that. We only had to cut it off there because these other colors are going to close it off just fine. And on camera it doesn't look that much different, but it is slightly different. But maybe not dark enough. Let's do this. Let's take it more into an oranger territory. Yeah, I think that's better. There we go. There we go. Is this very different than doing it in Photoshop? It's not really that much different. I've never actually used Photoshop on a tablet though. But it's similar enough that all I knew basically was Photoshop before I got Procreate. And I used that knowledge to just sort of guess my way through Procreate the first few days. And then I started watching tutorials and things like that. But the selection process is pretty similar. I actually kind of prefer the way it works in Photoshop, but like I said, I get to work on my tablet this way, and I don't have Photoshop on the tablet right now. Just ask Nick for tips. I assume that's Nick Welch. Is that who you're talking about, Josh? Hey, Brenda, what's up? Good to see ya. And Colin, technology is amazing. My brain still thinks of coloring in the 12 color pencil sense. Hey, I got my colored pencils right next to the table. I was using them all month for some of the live drawing we were doing. And I still like a simple color palette. Even though, we have all these possibilities, but I still like to keep it simple. All right, we're going to do her hair now, which is all dreaded and matted from living in the wild since she was a little kid. Poor girl, abandoned on this planet. Lucky she is half witch and half god, so she's pretty strong. She doesn't quite know how to use her witch powers, but being half god means that she's at least pretty strong. Let's see, I want some a little brighter where her eyes are. Or at least the whites of her eyes will go in with her darker eye color in a moment. So she's kind of got this purpley skin, and yes, it's as simple as her dad had bluish skin and her mom has reddish skin. She's a byproduct of pure color theory. Did I miss Nick? I saw a hi Nick. I see people saying Nick. All right, so let's see. Let's get her staff color chosen, or I guess her staff, whatever, her spear color. It's a piece of wood. It's going to be kind of orange, but I want it different than her. That's too dark. Different than the yellow and orange in her outfit. You know what? I'm going to choose this just for now. We got to get a color on there so that people don't think this is just a giant hand-rolled cigarette. She's too young to be smoking here. She's just like, she's still a teenager. Probably about 15 here, maybe 16. All right, there we go. You know what? I am going to take 1 second to secure this camera a little more. So bear with for one moment. I don't want you guys to have to see all the shaky cam going on while I switch this over. Whoa, it's so shaky. You guys would be getting all sick now. All right, this is going to be much more secure. No more shaking. All right, see, I can shake my desk. Camera doesn't shake at all. All right, here we go. Now I want to choose the red for the wolves. I know I want them to be a deep red, but I had not chosen. Let's see, we're going to go to a classic palette here. I think we're going to go into the classic number 3. And we're going to start with this red. It's a little in the magenta realm for me. Let's see, it's more in the orange realm. See, just that subtle switch. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, because this planet is called the Garden of Umbra. And everything's kind of red and orange and on fire. So we are going to make sure the wolves kind of fall into that. All right, everybody have a good Halloween. Oh, Brenda wants theme music when she enters the chat. All right. She's sassy, she's crafty. Don't give her no lip. It's Brenda. Yeah. Welcome Brenda to the chat, everybody. There you go. How was that, Brenda? You guys get art and music here. Although that music was art. If you guys don't know, Brenda is truly sassy and crafty. She made us some really cool Gods and Gears coasters, where she took the ceramic coaster tiles and did a collage of Gods and Gears issue 1 over a set of them. Super cool. We have them displayed. She's also made cool Gods and Gears shirt, and she's also made the same things for other alternate creators like this guy Peter Samedi and some guy named Robert Geronimo. I don't know about that guy. Don't know about that Geronimo guy. Seems all shady whenever he's on Open Mic Monday. I don't know. I don't know about that guy. Hey, what's up, Blast Beat? I know everyone's going to expect a theme song now. All right, Household approves. All right, so we're going to drop in. Oh, you know what? All right, here's a mistake I made. That I'm going to play the mistake through, even though I think I could fix it now. But I went and selected my wolf and closed it off down here. But you'll see here, bam. Oh no, I left that open. So we'll go and select that. Super quick. And we'll clear it away as if it never existed. So you guys should check out Blastbeat over on Twitter. He always sells, he's selling vintage music, cards, shirts, stuff like that. Always super cool stuff. Very, very Ryan Wynn approved. Where's clear? There we go. All right, there's our wolf. I think I am going to stick with that color. It's way brighter to you guys than it is in person here. So don't freak out. Don't freak out. All right, I'm going to zoom in so we can start selecting this wolf as well. So the deal with these wolves is they are called razor wolves, and they chase you down, they wear you out, and then they zip past you one at a time, and their razor sharp fur slices you up, eventually slicing you to pieces, and then they just nosh on you. Nom, 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 nom. eat you right up. So Hammerella is doing her best not to get caught by them, because even though she's super strong, so are they. And we don't know if she's going to be able to. I don't even know if they can break completely through her flesh and bones. I know they're going to be able to hurt her pretty good, but you know. You'll have to back the book to find out. Or wait a couple months till I do a video about it. No. Go back the book. All right, so this time, no mistakes, I'm going to cross over and then loop back around that opening between the leg and the claw. Can you guys see? Let's see. You can barely see the dotted selection lines there, huh? I don't think there's a setting to change that. You'll see more of what's going on once I start dropping in highlights and color and shading and stuff like that. For now, it just looks like I'm blankly tracing an image. When you see me double tap like that, that's a jump back. Kind of like Control Z in Photoshop. I don't like to have to do it, but it's nice. It's a nice option to have. So there we go. And we are gonna go in and do some of our different colors on the wolves now. They are gonna have glowing orange eyes and glowing orange from inside their mouth as well. So you don't really see past their teeth. And these little things, they have multiple eyes. All the creatures on this planet, they sort of have multiple eyes. Go ahead and hit fill layer, and that'll take care of that. I would not want to be chased down by these things. I don't know if any of you have ever played in a razor grass or run through razor grass, but that was one of the ideas I got, or one of the ideas of inspiration for their fur. And the fact that they don't even have to cut or bite you with their claws or fangs to do damage. They literally just have to run past you. Uh-oh, Geronimo draws. I was only saying good stuff, right? Right? I think so, yeah. What is up, buddy? Geronimo draws. A good friend from the Alterna crowd. Can't recommend anything he does highly enough. Sorry, you thought I was just going to say can't recommend anything he does, huh? No, I can't recommend anything he does highly enough. From the first image I saw of Blood Realm, I knew I was going to be a fan of that guy. And what he and Mike O'Shea are doing on Wirehead right now, I'll be putting a link in the description for that when I get a sec. Otherwise, just go check it out on Indiegogo. It's a slasher book, cybernetic slasher. I'm a big fan of slasher books, especially, well, I'm actually not that big a fan of slasher books because I haven't actually read that many good slasher books, but I am a slasher genre fan and movie fan. And I know for sure I'm going to be a fan of Wirehead. I even know that so much that I committed to giving them a print that you can get on one of the exclusive perks, or one of the featured perks. So go over there and check that out. Let's see, I need the right orange again. There we go. Okay, we're going to pull back and see how we're doing. So right now, basically, I call this doing the local color. And it's just sort of, these are the colors that they are. They're not affected by the lighting or shadows or environment at all yet. They will be eventually. Hey, thank you, Rob. See Razmaz there? What's up, Raz? Okay, so now we're starting to get into the ground down here. I'm not sure. Let's see, what color do we want that water to be? Do we want it to have a blue tint to it? Let me look at my disc of colors here. Normally I'll do like a light color sketch to figure things out, but here I'm trying to think on the fly what I want to do with this. Sometimes I'll do this too. I just look at the colors alone to sort of get an idea. Now they're relatively warm. She's got a little bit of cool going on here, but that's still kind of warm too. But I did say I like the environment on this planet to be all red, so we don't necessarily want to go with the obvious color theory choice of like, a cool choice behind them. Let's see. I'm gonna create a new layer. I think I'm gonna think about the water and trees first. Or I'm going to think about them while I outline the dirt here, the ground. And we'll find a nice neutral color for that, and then we'll do something cool for the trees. I got some ideas cooking up. All right, choose our freehand selection here in Procreate, and we are gonna tap and slide some of these lines. It's okay if you get a little loose sometimes in your backgrounds. I'm gonna outline around the water so I don't have to come back and do that later. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep it to all like a red hue for all this stuff. The water might have some sort of pinkishness to it. I don't know, some way to make it stand out, but we're gonna figure it out. Hey, we got a Tristan in the house. What is up, you all? Check out Tristan for all your pop culture news and needs over on her channel. She's got a little bite, she's got a little edge, she's got a little humor. She always delivers. All right, we're gonna keep this grass and dirt kind of the same too, once again. And with the blacks you can kind of, the black shapes, you guys, come on. You can kind of cut over those, obviously, because the color won't show through. Grass. All right, so I think I asked earlier, but I didn't see anyone's reply, and I'm kind of busy doing this, but did y'all have a good Halloween, and did you do anything special or dress up? Anybody get any costumes going? I was over on Spencer Desmond's channel with Kayla and Jeff, and we were all McConaughey themed. Well, I mean, she was Wonder Woman, but we found some McConaughey themes for her. But I was McConaughey from Dazed and Confused. Spencer was McConaughey, which was Jay Muse playing Matthew, played by Matthew McConaughey, and I forget right now which one Jeff was. Was he the True Detective McConaughey? I forget. We were having a good time though. And then I switched up and got into my Wolverine mask and was Wolverine. Uh-oh, Catwoman. That's all kinds of trouble. All kinds of trouble. All right, we're going to close this off. Now we're going to go into our reds again. I'm going to pick something kind of neutral, something kind of lighter than the wolves red. Let's see how I like this. All right, that works for me for now. Doesn't draw my eye to it. I may end up going a little darker, but we'll see. All right, now I think I want to go. I think I can pick like a grayish green that will blend in with the reds, not look like green, but will make them pop. It's a little color trick we're gonna try out. All right, here we go. Now my hand's getting really warmed up, so I'm able to move much quicker. And up in here, I don't want to get too lost or get you guys too dizzy, too much spinning around. That is some crunchy molasses razzmatazz. Yeah, the toffee onion, that is hilarious. Highly recommend that as an option for any of your neighborhood crappy kids that come by and think they deserve candy just for dressing up in a costume and knocking on your door. Give them the toffee onion. All right, I'm gonna close off a big section of this first. I'm gonna do these first two tree trunks, because I don't want to spend all that time doing the branches, fill in the color, and see that I don't like the way it works. So we will select these two main trees here, do a couple of their branches. Leaving the sky open. Let's see, uh-oh, I got a little lost in my selecting. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's bring this color in. All right, at least for now, I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm going to red it up, but I do like that for the keeping things separate right now. And this would be a process called separations in the old day, where they would literally separate the colors like this. Okay, now I'm going to actually go in with an inking pen that I call my Awesome Color Brush 2. And we're going to go up and do some of these branches, because these don't have to be super precise or exact, because they are going to be fading up into the sky. Looks like I missed a bunch under here. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't normally like to scribble color in, but that's just one quick spot. And we'll get our lines back here. There we go. Now, if these were arms and hands of people, I would go in and select them with the selection tool and then fill them all. But this is a nice, quick, simple way to do it for background trees. And one of the reasons I don't like to normally do this as a technique all over the place is this wears your hand out more. And as you gain experience as an artist, you start paying attention to that kind of stuff. So when I've talked to young creators that are kind of new to the game and they're working with color and they do everything like that, they just scribble in everything, I'm like, you're going to want to consider the amount of pressure that takes, where when you're using the selection tool, it's much lighter on your hand. It's a series of tapping. You can lift up, take a break, and go from here to there. So I don't recommend this as an overall technique. I thought I closed off an area. All right, we're going to keep closing off tree trunks first. We are under the wolves, so we can just draw right over that, and it shows up underneath. Same with her. And then back up the other side, behind the wolf. Now, right now, this is what I'm doing right now. When I spin the canvas like that, that's one of the reasons I don't actually like Clip Studio Paint. And apparently it's just something on the iPad. it doesn't move as freely like that. Like this spins as quickly as a piece of paper on my desk, and I rely on this, my left hand, to do so much of the work and to keep that board spinning super fast. And I can't do that in Clip Studio, but Clip Studio does have tons of options for putting a comic together that Procreate just doesn't have. But I don't necessarily need those options right now, so I do fine without it. And I really love the Procreate setup, everything about it. But I am not against Clip Studio. I just need to be able to work at the speed and flow which I'm used to. Gable Penny Shot. Should he call the comic Hammerella Thundersmoke? Welcome, Jim. Hey, Hyper Kaiju, welcome. Yeah, I'm thinking about making some comics someday. We did go ahead and extend the Hammerella campaign. We got close. We got into like the 70 some percent. We're at 77% now. We're still climbing a little each day, but I think we're going to be adding something really cool tomorrow. Sort of a bonus for everyone that has backed, and something cool to entice new backers. Wahaha. All right, so let's get this last tree done. I'm really looking forward to getting into the highlights. And that's not sports highlights, that's the highlights and shadowing part of the coloring. Okay, I need to fill in this trunk. I'm dilly-dallying, yammering away and losing focus. But yeah, now I'm kind of treating it like a painting. Kind of brushing in these shapes. If you go a little out of the lines, it's okay. I sort of like that effect because it sort of mimics old comics where they had the 4-color process printing, and sometimes one of the color plates would be off a little bit and would stick out over the black line like this, say. Maybe not that much, but something like that. So every once in a while, I kind of like that as an effect. I like that happy little accident. All right, I'll close that off. I think that'll close off this trunk. There we go. There we go. So like I said, I am going to add some red to that because I do want everything to have a red effect. And this color looks way pinker on the monitor. So to you guys, that's probably looking like a bright pink. It's actually a dullish gray red on the real one. So when I post the colors later, you'll see the actual, how it actually looks. That's why this is sort of a test, I guess. I want to see how colors look doing it this way. I thought this would be a better way than sharing the screen because you can actually see what I'm doing. You can see how small this iPad is too. I gotta get the big one. I gotta get that project backed and then some, so I can get myself a big iPad to work on. And add it to the class. Should grab the Gods and Gears issues and add it to the classroom package. I do need to do a classroom package. You're right. I do like the effect. Hyper Kaiju looking sharp. Thank you, Hyper Kaiju. Wait a second. You're talking about them looking sharp. I see what you're up to. I see what you mean. All right, so I actually think I might. This is bugging me. I want to make these kind of red already. Let's see how this looks. Oh, there we go. I already like that better. There we go. That's more what I was looking for. Sometimes you can do a complementary color like that, and it works. But I think I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back. I'm going to select this color. Let's see. Now select the other color. There we go. I'm going to select automatic pick all the green here. I'm going to create a new layer, and then I'm going to fill it with that red. So then if I want to go back to that, I can, or if I want to find a nice blend in between, I can. Let's see. So something, let's see. I think I'm going to go with that. There we go. Then it has a hint of green, but it's still basically in the red. Let's see, as you would say. All right, now background color. I'm going to select or create a new layer. I'm going to call it BG. Rename BG. Background. And we're going to go straight for a bright red as the base. Okay. On your screen, it looks very similar to the wolves, but we're going to paint it up a little. And I think I like the effect of the water being that same red. All right, we got to look at this for a sec. Adjust the lighting here. I hate how cameras don't show the real coloring. Yeah, that is a problem, but I'm going to get set up so that I can jump back and forth between sharing the screen. Whoops, I double click by accident. Sharing the screen and then watching me do the process like this. Is that the 6th generation non-pro and 1st gen pencil? No, this is the iPad Pro. This is the 2015, and same with the pencil. This is 2015, maybe 2016. Yeah, I think it's 2016 iPad and the 2016 pencil. But I'm thinking about getting maybe like the 2017. I think Dan Frege was talking about the 2017 12-inch. Still works pretty well with the updated Procreate, so might be doing that. All right, so I'm thinking about this background now. I'm gonna create an extra layer that I can paint on, and I like to highlight my reds with oranges. So I'm gonna go into painting. I like the flat brush at about 70%. Kind of big, and there's definitely going to be a glow coming from behind them. She's our focal point, so we want everything to draw attention to her, whether that's in composition or color. And if you're doing it right, color plays into composition. So. And we are keeping this hot. By that, I mean keeping it in the reds. She's going to pop off because of her purpley skin and her bright yellow. Those are going to be our brightest points. And we'll let that fade to the red sky. Again, it blends a little more in the actual image than it does on camera right now. So like I was saying, in the composition and in the coloring, you want everything to lead to her. So, even the wolf tails lead to her. The shape of the wolves, this circular shape to their body, cycles back through her underneath here. And the way these branches unfold like this sort of leads you down all to her. So we want to make sure the lighting and the coloring all reflects and focuses that as well. Yeah, I see I missed a piece of color up here. I'm going to fix that because it's bugging me. Oh, I didn't. I see what I did. This layer is not on multiply. Therefore, it was showing white up here. You see that? Watch. See that? And then that. There we go. Now we're fixed. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that effect. Even flat, that's already working. And we'll highlight some of this water. Or not highlight, I guess we'll just give a little oranginess to the water like that. No, I'm gonna take that back. I like it a little redder. There we go. Yeah. And then we can even go into, let's see, this brighter orange. Let's see if this is going to be too much. I kind of want it to be bright behind them. I don't want to give you any opportunity to look anywhere else first. Yeah, I think I'm liking this. That yellow is working really nicely against her violety skin. That's first generation. If so, okay. Does it have the lighting connector? The lightning connector for charging. Let's see. I don't have my charging thing right here. I don't know. I'll have to check in. It might be first gen. It very well might be. Hey dudes, didn't even know you were live. Yeah, it was just a test, Rooster. I should have let you know though. Stupid of me. I should have dropped it in our private chat. All right, we're gonna. Yep, I like this already. I was gonna say we're gonna test brightening that up a little more, and I already like it. Let me get it on frame. There we go. Because not only do you want your colors to have in harmony, you want the value, how much gray or white. You want to pay attention to that. All right, that is going to make her pop very nicely because she popped really nicely off when it was black and white, and you want to make sure that that lives on. See, into the colors. There we go. Yeah, first gen. Yeah, it probably is. I need to step it up into the future. Although this was at the time, this was my stepping into the future. I was pretty sure I was never going to work digitally. It was just something I wasn't into. Every year at all the conventions, they would have, Wacom would have their Cintiq tablets out there, and I just never liked the feel. And then one day, I finally tried out the iPad Target one day. Fell in love with it. All right, so now I'm thinking about the ground. I want to do something with the ground. It's really bugging me how bad it looks in the monitor to you guys, because this color looks way better in person right now. And it's stupid that it's messing with my head like that, because I'm like, oh, what color choice is going to look that'll look better on the monitor? Because that's kind of what I'm doing this for. But I'm like, no, you're doing it for the image. We're just doing a test here. So just bear with me on that looking so pink right now, because it really doesn't. All right. I'm going to select the ground piece. Automatic. And then I'm going to create a layer above it. And I'm going to try just a slight gradation. Let's see, we're going to use the same red as the wolves. We're going to go into airbrush, going to pick a big ol' airbrush, and we're just going to softly hit these corners. I don't even know if that's making an effect for a change for you guys, but it's doing just a little bit, darkening up those corners a little. And again, that's going to just help us focus the viewer's eye towards the center. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now I'm going to take an orange and I'm going to do a much smaller airbrush. And I'm going to lightly sort of dust this floor in the background and leading to the front. So it's getting a little bit of highlight. Then I'm going to go over and do a layer where we actually are hitting highlights. This is just sort of an overall blanket effect. This isn't for details. I'm going to get that balanced. This light creeping through the woods. Brenda Rubin says, it frustrates me when I take pics of my teas to post and it doesn't capture the true colors. Yes, I get that. Because Brenda will do custom t-shirts of her favorite comic covers and things like that, so she wants those colors to pop, obviously. Colin Swinburne says, I suck with the airbrush. I haven't quite found the sweet spot with paint and thinning agent yet. Yeah, I haven't done actual airbrushing in quite a while, and that is one of the tricks. Same with if you're just painting with brush, though, and acrylic and oil. Each of us got to find that right mix. Or even with ink, just ink. I have to have the right amount of water, and the way I use ink is different than the way Joe Weems uses ink, so we can't even use the same ink. Jobu popping in to say hello, looking badass. Hello, Jobu. Good to see you again, brother, and thank you for the nice words. Thank you for stopping by. Happy November, everybody. Okay, now we've got our basic local color and our environment sort of worked out. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a shadow layer on the three of them, and then that same layer, I'm going to hit highlight for them. And I'll do something similar for the trees. The trees are going to end up a little bit of texture to them. And then we're going to do one more layer on the three of them that is hard highlights and hard shadows. So how I do that is I go to the color flats, and I'm going to select just her skin tones. Then above that, I am going to, let's see, hit the deep red that we've got that we're using for the wolves and the scenery. Going to go back to airbrush. Going to keep it small, and we're going to just very lightly take the red up. And especially on the shadow leg, I want that a little deeper. I'm going to make my brush smaller. We can go in here, and from her core out, I'm going to slowly kind of hit that with red. And the underneath on her arms. And her palm there. And again, this isn't about details. This is about sort of shading and highlighting the overall chunk of mass that she is. And the wolves. And don't go around calling people chunks of mass now. Come on. And then blame it on me. That's not nice. Wolves are chunks of mass too. Okay, so that's showing up a little bit on the monitor. So what page is this in the book? I forget the page number right now because it was actually just going to be a panel on a page. It's early on in the story, though. All right, we're going to choose our orange for just a touch of highlights on her here. Around the edge. Barely going to touch the leg a little bit there with it. And just going to hit these edges here like that. Yeah, I've already started kind of adding a few pages here and there to the story because I wanted things to be that much more impactful. I didn't want, like, this was going to be, we enter the scene like this, and it was just going to be a panel, and there's going to be more panels on the page. And I just felt like this was such a great moment and would make a great visual that when you turn the page, it should just be this, just boom, coming at you. Danielle for a Hammerella chunky confirmed. Some people are a big chunk of mass. Your mom is a big chunk of mass. You guys, I said don't call people chunks of mass. What are you doing? All right, now I'm gonna actually take that layer. I'm gonna drop it down a little, the opacity. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we're gonna do the same things with the wolves, the razor wolves with their razor sharp razor fur. We're gonna select them. We are gonna go to our airbrush layer. We're going to select orange. We're going to go kind of big on that. And then lightly from the center out, we're going to hit them with orange. And again, we're not hitting their features. I'm not trying to highlight edges of their arms or anything like that. Just treating them as a giant chunk of mass. Kiss my mass. Very lightly. And it's very subtle on the monitor, it looks like, but again, it sort of cuts off here and here. And again, that color shift pushing us in like that. You wanna always keep that in mind. You want your viewer and your reader to have no choice but to follow your lead, essentially. Okay, now I think I'm going to hit them with actually a deep blue. We're going to go big and we're going to go really light though. And just this outer edge like that. You're not even going to be able to see that on the monitor, but again, it's going to create just a subtle gradation, subtle effect. There we go. We are fearsome chunks, said the wolves. What, do you have the script, Simonon? That's exactly what that is. That's what they're going to say. Gable, I love streams like these. More of these, please. Yeah, now that I've got this set up and I got StreamYard figured out, we're going to be doing stuff like this pretty much every day. We got 29 days on this campaign. I don't even want to do that just for 29 days. Now that I got it figured out, I want to keep that rolling. But we're going to be doing stuff like this. We're going to be getting back to late night inks this week. We got all kinds of stuff. I got a little swept up in all the fun draw streams and some of the Fragtobers, and we were doing draw streams with Robert Geronimo. We're going to be doing that again Tuesday night. And then after the draw stream with Robert and Spencer and probably Jeff Elkins, we're going to be, after that, we're going to hop over to Spencer's channel to close out the City of Rot campaign that night. Okay, so let's see, what are we going to do next? We've done our general highlights, and I don't want to do hard highlights quite yet. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We need to go in, give this girl some teeth. She ain't got no teeth yet. Oops, wrong pen. Did that. Boop. Let's jump back. Jump back. Meant to have an inking pen. Let's go in super tiny and there we go. And let's give her a little bit darker of shade on her lips here. Where'd you go, Hammerella? Palette. There you go. All right. Oh, it didn't switch over. Awesome. Let's or I didn't hit a color. I just chose the palette and I was like, come on, palette. Select yourself. All right. She's not wearing lipstick, but you know, your lips are going to be a little bit darker. They're a little fuller of blood and stuff like that. So let's see. Hey, we've got Ferris in the house. Hello, Ferris. Good to see you, buddy. Got Simon and 7. City of Rot is cool. Yeah, City of Rot. I'm so excited about City of Rot. I'm lucky to be friends with Spencer and Jeff. They are really kicking butt with that book, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. Let's see. Sorry, I got a little lost in thought there. I realized I want to give their teeth a lighter color, but not yellow or pink. Let's see how something like this works. Back to freehand selection. Oh, we're kind of out of frame here. Let me see. So freehand selection on the Procreate. And pick these teeth out. And we can select just around them like that since the yellow is already separating them. We can drop an orange in. Let me see. Actually, though, so this is one I don't like how it looks in reality. The way it looks on the monitor works. Now I have to make it work for that. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, the teeth weren't standing out. I want the teeth to stand out a little bit. There we go. We'll do the same thing over here. So yes, I was saying City of Rot, story of Heavy Hank, part of a motorcycle gang. They betray him. He's put in jail. He escapes to go kill them all, and on the way to killing them all, he has to kill a bunch of friggin' zombies. And you might think zombies are oversaturated. They're only oversaturated by crappy people making crappy zombie stuff. There's still awesome people making awesome zombie stuff. So shake off all the rest and go back City of Rot. It's only available until the 3rd. Gonna go and select this the water that the wolves have splashing off their feet from chasing her. These are little details that help convey emotion and storytelling. You always want to keep stuff like that in mind if your character's running or moving past stuff, that the environment can interact with them and become part of the composition and the storytelling. Even in little ways like this. This is very subtle. This is not, hey, look at these splashes. It's just little bits like that the reader doesn't even notice they're seeing. So you're gonna go to airbrush here. Sort of airbrush those on lightly, and they'll have little gradations to them like that. There we go. Splishity splash. Daniel prefers Voidwalker. Voidwalker's awesome too. Also written by Spencer Desmond, but drawn by Christian Rossi, who is the South American sensation. Let me tell you what, that guy's one of the most badass comic artists in the biz right now. I'll tell you what. All right, so let's see. That's all done. That's all done. Now I'm not liking the teeth here. Let me see. I'm gonna find a new red for the teeth. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do something like that. This orange worked for me, or it's not actually orange, but it looks orange there, and it worked for a second, but I don't know. Ryan, who taught you coloring? My first, I've always colored on my own and practiced coloring, obviously, like we all have. First people I studied really and tried to copy was like Bernie Wrightston and Bill Ray. Bill Ray colored Bernie on the Cult Batman. I was like, oh wait, this looks like a painting, and I wanted to copy that. So I studied them, and I studied what they were or I tried to figure out what they were doing. I didn't understand painting and layers and things like that quite properly yet. But then when I started working in comics, I was working with Danny on Spawn, and it was being colored by Brian Haberlin, and he had the Kemp brothers working on that, and that's Dan and I think Brian Kemp. I'm forgetting the brother's name, but Dan Kemp was a buddy of ours. Good guy, great colorist. He was coloring over at Marvel at the time, doing tons of Spider-Man stuff. And he sat us down and kind of gave me the comic book color theory based on old school Marvel rules, which is, and these are the color rules I use. So it's your characters have bright, bold, saturated colors. Like you look at here, I'm going to grab an example. We got this old Thor here, say, and look at our heroes have the deep, solid, saturated blue. I mean, basically the cyan, red, and the yellow, these basic colors. And then your backgrounds and scenery like that, you're gonna shift more into pastels and things like that. So here they go, the dark color in the foreground, so that you look at it and then you skip past it to these pastel colors. And again, look at the way these figures pop. Now this is a simple version. You kind of have to do more advanced things these days. People expect a little more shading, but the same thing applies. The second artist to teach me a lot in color and along the same lines with David Barron. And if you look at David Barron's work, it follows these same rules, even though he uses all modern techniques. You know, he was taught by Alex Sinclair and Laura Martin, and they do the same thing. So if you look at those great colorists, you'll see their classic theories put into test, put into effect. Obviously, they're gonna do something a little more advanced than just purple and cyan like this these days, but they're going to do this as their flats, and then they're going to add shading and toning in that hue to create those different layers. But I'm still also I'm learning with coloring. It's still a learning process for me. Fair says I'm actually a fan of the semi-flat look. Okay, cool. Well then, anything I have to say on color theory will fall into what you are a fan of, I hope. Colin says, I gave up on color and trying to understand it when looking at the color work in Sandman and the Max. Yeah, that can happen sometimes. You can almost be intimidated by the stuff you like. That's another reason that I started out going flat too. Not only did I like it, but it was something I could approach simply, and then I started adding a little bit of shading, and then I started adding highlights. So I would even just play around with really flat colors, because you're going through right now and you're kind of, you know, you've said you're relearning how to draw and using how to draw comics the Marvel way and stuff like that as a guide. Maybe finish up some pieces, scan them in, and then just try copying colors from old comics. Just drop those same colors in. Even bring it in as a layer into your Photoshop or whatever, and just select those actual same colors and color yours flat like that. And try that out a few times, and then maybe slowly try shading. Going flat sounds weird out of context. Yeah, it does, Dano. It totally does. The same with stuff like spotting blacks and inks and stuff like that. There's all these terms. If you're just walking by, someone's like, what? Ferris Jabbar says, the stuff Kirby was doing and the colors on his work were really underrated. Yes, I completely agree. I don't have anything within hand reach right now. I got something blocking my bookshelf where I could show that off, show some Kirby stuff off, but he was really picky about the colors, and sometimes even his inkers would do the coloring, because he hired people that he trusted, like Mike Royer would do the lettering as well, things like that. And the colors played a great part in it, and they look great on newsprint, and sometimes in the reprints they look too bright and saturated and weird, and people judge them by those, and they don't see what the original product was supposed to look like. His 2001 issues, I think those are some of the best colors in comics of all time. Like, it's simple color theory put to the max. All right, so we're gonna keep going here. I got my layer created for highlights. Let's see, I'm gonna work on the ground first. I'm gonna go to an orange. I'm gonna pick my awesome inking brush 2. I'm gonna lower the opacity down to about 35%. Didn't get that orange I wanted. Where are we going here? Let's get back to our classic palette. I'm gonna pick this orange, and we're gonna hit the highlights or the light planes on these rocks on the ground. And we're gonna just give them one pass. And it's gonna become less apparent as we get to the center and we meet where the gradation in the ground is, the gradation of light. These highlights on the rocks are gonna become less apparent as they would in reality. And then down here where the ground is darker, that contrast pops them a little bit more. Okay, yeah, I'm liking that. And we can give a slight highlight to these grounds on the, or these ridges on the ground, these mounds, if you will. We'll heavy it up as we get to the center there, like that. Yeah, okay, that's working. That's working. I mean, that was the plan all along. Of course it's working. I never make stuff up on the fly. All right, cool. Yeah, actually, that's coming out way better than I expected. I thought for sure we'd have to do a couple tests to get that right, but keeping the palette simple is making everything work. And when you're studying color, go through and pick a comic you like and practice using their colors. I told David Barron I was doing that, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm swiping your colors." He's like, "Well, as long as you don't swipe it for real work, but you're swiping it for, definitely swipe it for learning." I was like, "All right, cool." And see how you can make their color choices work. Because color's weird. You might like certain colors by themselves, and then when you get them next to another color, it shifts. So it's funny like that. All right, there we go. Some highlights on our rocks and the ground. Again, still relatively flat. We're not going to have a lot of texture there. We're going to have a little bit of texture in the trees, I think. Hey, thank you, Brenda. It is a perfect win. Yes. See, I missed a couple comments here. Yes, Ferris, I agree. I look at the look and overall aesthetic of the older paper. I like the look and overall aesthetic of the older paper. Yes, I agree. Not even because I'm an old man. That the stuff was from before my time. It's just, it looks so good on the newsprint. Let's see what Colin has to say. Though one of the things I discovered by accident was buying the great big Marvel Essentials book and watching kids treat them as coloring books. So now I gift them with 24 color pencils. That's a good idea. That's a fun way for a kid to really get into comics, not destroy something that's a collector's item, and have fun creating said comic too. That's a great idea. Man, Colin's always got great stories and great ideas. And then Brenda, of course, with the reminder that you can get superhero coloring books now. All right. Okay, so now we got those highlights. Now I want to do something with them. So I'm going to go ahead and just select this entire layer with the flats of the three of them. I'm going to move up to our highlight layer and going to try the same thing here. I'm going to start with Razor Wolf and see if I like him with a highlight like this. And I already think I do. Yes, I already think I do. So we're going to do the same thing here. And with the brush opacity set low, you can go over a couple times and even like either build up a medium layer and a brighter layer like that, or just keep it as is with the one pass. It almost works like an airbrush. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm especially very happy that these things are coming together while you guys are watching, because I'm experimenting and figuring this out as I go, the coloring and doing the live stream. So yeah, I think this is working. So I don't want to do too much of a fur effect either. I don't want to get over rendery in the colors. But we'll bring some of these highlights here. Again, using stuff as part of the composition, bringing the highlight in towards that mouth, that snarling mouth. And we'll have a little bit on the upper ridge. We want to make sure to get this highlight on the ear, so that helps it pop. And there we go. Get that Big ol' snarling nose. Give that a nice highlight. Yeah, all right, that's all working. That's working. And we'll go brighter overall on the claws. And no, I was gonna give them an end, but I think they should just blend in. I was gonna make them that same, like a brighter color up until here, and then have it be that red. But I think that's that looks weird like that. So that, let's bring this in here a little more. Doot doot doot, and a doot doot doot. Yeah, I created my awesome color brush off of from the studio pen or something. I just went in and dabbled with it and made it something that I liked pencil or kind of drawing my colors on with. You want your highlights to be consistent. They don't have to be realistic, but having a consistency to them makes them real in your scene. Yes, Daniel, just noticed those are not eyebrows, but 2 extra pairs of eyes. Yeah, all the animals on this planet, they've got extra little eyes like that just to have a cool design element. I mean, to help them be better hunters. All right, now that we know what we're doing, this wolf will go a little quicker. And that's always for me, I'm always stoked when I've got multiple versions of something on a page to color, as long as there's not too many, or to ink, because the first one you can get all your mistakes out in, and then the next one goes a lot quicker and smoother because you've already made all your mistakes and figured it all out. All right, so I got that ridge from his rump, and then a ridge here from his forearm, and then a highlight on this part of his fur, or hers. I'm not sure if these, I don't think either one of these in the story, let me see. No, these are just scout wolves. They're not the queen of the razor wolves. Her name is Capri. And she's super deadly. I had to think for a second if one of these was her, but no, she's commanding them to go and wear Hammerella down so they can try to eat her. But she sent these 2 scouts to start because they are younger and they are training, and they see Hammerella out hunting and they decide to hunt Hammerella. All right. And again, see these highlights are all on, all pushing this way off that bright light in the background, which brings us to the focus of the young Hammerella here. So we're going to see her in like a few different age ranges. This is one of them. How are the Gods and Gears action figures going? Very slow right now as we're focused on the campaign, and we're deciding how we want to do that, because I'd kind of like to be able to just produce them and sell them, not have to do a crowdfunder to produce them. Because I think going forward, I don't want to do crowdfunding for production of the art, just production of the product, if that makes sense. But the action figure stuff, that's going to be more of a 2021 thing. I'd like to do a Hammerella one too, but we'll see. Ferris, do you prefer Marte Garcia use of hard light brush for coloring, or more of a softer look? I really like what he does. I don't have a lot of what he does. I've only seen it online. I'd actually like to see more of it in print. He's usually working for most of the stuff. I think it was like for Marvel or something, so I don't really buy it. But yeah, I'm gonna check out more of his work. Prefer use of hard light brush for coloring or more of a softer look? Yeah, I guess I go for a softer look sometimes, and in certain spots. Like we're gonna go for a harder line on her now with the harder edge. Yeah, I tend to mix it up a little. Yeah, I'd have to look at his work again just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to. I don't want to sound stupid, even though half the time I sound pretty stupid. Hey, boop. Let's see. Yeah, I guess here I'm doing more of a hard line effect. So I guess I'm mixing it up a little. Yeah, the work I've seen from him was stellar. I didn't look at it like to study it, so I need to go back and look. Do you have something you recommend? He has tutorials out. Oh, okay, cool. I'm definitely gonna check those out. Because like I said, even though I color all my own work and I've been doing it for a while, I still feel like I am learning, and you can learn more so much from the guys that have been doing it and doing it well for a long time. It's like I always say this about stuff. I can fix my toilet. I'm handy. I've got some tools, this or that. But there's people out there that have been fixing toilets for 20 years. So I'll call that person. Okay, so we got that highlight. Let's go in. Let's start playing with her a little bit now. I don't know if I'm gonna go orange on her highlights. It's not showing up quite the same. Actually, it's funny. It looks better on the monitor. I'm gonna go with a brighter. She's got a brighter tone to her skin. I'm gonna go with a brighter highlight color. Let's see how this looks. I'm gonna go a little more opaque. Excuse me. This is all still experimenting. These won't be final lines. I'm gonna test that out with the yellow. I'm gonna jump back, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Oops. Sometimes I hit forward when I mean to hit back. And come on, there we go. I'm gonna try a bright violet here. Let's see. See how this looks first. Do an overall, this is our first pass. Yes, I'm already liking this. And then we'll do a warmer yellowy highlight just as a rim light on her. Yeah, this is looking better. So use her same kind of purple to create the rim light. And it can fade out as we get down here. Yes, this is the way. Which I have not watched Mandalorian season 2 yet. Don't spoil that for me. I didn't think I would end up liking any more Star Wars stuff in my lifetime, and then they made that, and I was like, hey, this is pretty fun. Okay, so yeah, I'm liking that. Let's see, let's create a highlight on this side too, but less of one. There we go. How's that looking, everybody? All right, so good night, Eric. Keep rocking. Take care, all. Take care, Eric. Ryan looks great. Can't wait to see the finished art. Thank you, Eric Housel. You are very kind. Thank you for hanging out, watching, and joining in the conversation. Let's see. What's Daniel's not lying about something. You'd like the harsher yellow. You know what, Daniel? It did look better on the monitor. I'm going to say that from your point of view, it did look better. It sort of had a sickly quality. On this end, it kind of had a a greenish effect on her skin that you couldn't see. So just trust me on that. I'm doing what's best for our girl. Mandalorian has been refreshingly good. Awesome. Great to hear. But Daniel, fear not. I am going back in, and she is going to get a final highlight of a little bit of yellow. And with us having this initial highlight with the violet sort of color, I like the transition more. So this is more of a hardline effect, like Ferris was talking about. Not so much blending as just straight up hardline. Just bam, and we're going to create a little bit of focus on her with this. I can't wait to make this an update on the campaign page. It's going to look awesome. And I'm not always that happy with my work, but I've been really happy with a lot of the Hammerella stuff. She's been very kind in giving me great ideas. She's like, hey, you should do this. Hey, do this. And let's get a highlight in her eye, draw a little attention there. Oh, I forgot about her headband. We'll highlight that too. Hey, we got a Publishing Pete in the house, everybody. Everybody give it up for Publishing Pete. All right, now we are going to go with the straight up. No, I was going to say straight up white. We're going to go with the almost white. And we're going to hit up the highlight on her cloth here. Now, it's okay that it's a little similar to the background in this sense. Normally I'm talking about we got to make this pop, we got to make that pop. This part is okay. That is similar to that, but this is our light source back here, and we're close to our light source, and it's okay for that to sort of mix in with that. The black line, the harsh shadow there separates it enough. All right, we're going to bring down the opacity, and her, as Razmaz said, her giant hand-rolled cigarette here. Yeah, some highlights on that. Daniel Ferrer, I am regretting not getting it physically. No doubt this would look better in print. Hey, it's going to look great digital too, man. It's going to look fantastic digital. You won't regret it, buddy. And eventually we'll get that. We'll get a physical copy out to you. We'll eventually make that happen. All right, there we have that. Now, I think I have less to do with the trees than I was planning. I was gonna texture them up a little. I might just end up doing like a little gradation here or there. I don't know. We're gonna play. Let's see. We are on our highlight layer. I'm gonna select. Say that one. Sean Connery. I'm gonna select this here color, and then we're gonna take our awesome color brush 2. We're gonna make this bad boy like 78% in size. We're gonna go, we're gonna keep it around 40% in color. Let's see. Oh, I didn't let's see. I picked the color, but I didn't change the value. So we're gonna increase the value a little bit. And then I'm gonna slowly, I was on our highlight layer, which is above our flats layer, which is not gonna work. Okay. This'll work. Here we go. Pay no attention to the dork behind the curtain. All right, this is very subtle of a highlight. Let's see, I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see it there. You can see that edge there. I'll lessen the opacity and do a test here real quick. Blend it in. Yeah, there we go. I want there to be a slight transition, but I want it to be so subtle you barely notice it. Just kind of paint it in. Paint the angry little trees into the scary little forest. And if you really want to torture a young girl, you send razor wolves after her. And let's make those razor wolves extremely deadly. God rest Bob Ross. Would have been 78 this year. Wish they had done a sequel to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It had great practical effects. Yeah, and I feel like if they would have done a sequel, they may have done something closer to the books after all the backlash. Because I even saw an interview with one of the guys that made it, and at the time they were one of the producers, and they were like, at the time they were like, I don't care, we're just gonna make it the way we want to make it. And then afterwards, he's like, oh, I kind of wish we would have stuck to the comic idea a little and gotten some fan love out of it. I didn't hate it though. It was one of those things where people were like, it's not the comic. And I was like, no, it's not, but it was kind of fun still. And it was fun seeing Sean Connery in another action movie, especially at his age. All right, now that's some subtle texturing. Or shading, I should say, not so much texturing. But that little bit helps. All right, we're going to take a look for a sec. We got to go in and add some details down in here. Look at the chat real quick. My wife has been on a real Sean Connery bender today. Can hear her watching The Last Crusade in the other room. Awesome. He's so funny in that. Oh yeah, Daniel, you should just wait and get one big order from all of us sent to you. Maybe we should like work on collecting stuff and then sending it out to you. See a very suspect burrito. Uh-oh, what's that? Very suspect burrito. See, are the teeth of the wolf gonna get highlights? Still working on what I'm gonna be doing with the teeth. There's gonna be a slight glow effect coming out of their mouth, and I still don't think I like the color of the teeth. It looks kind of really weird on the monitor. It's in real life it's better. In the camera it looks weirder. But I'm still working on that because I don't know if I might just end up going with their white like teeth, regular teeth. Check out There Will Be Blood if you want great storytelling, lighting, framing. Yes, I haven't seen that in a long time, and that's on my list to rewatch. A friend of mine brought it up the other day, and I was like, yes, you know what? I need to definitely put that on the list to watch again this month. The Man Who Would Be King is amazing. We watched that. I only took a couple college courses, and that was one of the films we watched and did a report on. And it was great doing that book with I had a really great religious philosophy teacher, and we watched that in the class and did a report on it. Great movie. And it's kind of from an era of great films where people weren't trying to outdo each other with opening night box office numbers, which is really just a result of advertising and marketing. It has nothing to do with the quality of your product. And back then, people were like, okay, I have to outright this person. You had to step up and prove yourself. Okay, we're going to go back up to a highlight layer, pick our awesome inking pen. We're going to bring up the opacity, and we're going to hit these rocks. Whoa, that's way too big. Bring down the size. And all right, so we're going to go a little more opaque. There we go. These rocks are just sticking up out of this little creek here. And why is there a little creek? It made it more interesting, visually interesting. That's why. Now I wonder how it looks if we shadow this side of these rocks. Yep, I think I like that. That's too light there. Okay, so then we are going to select our brighter color and do the highlight on these rocks as well. There we go. We are rocking and rolling. Let's I want to make this splash stand out and actually have less gradation to it. Let's see. I want it to be bright though, because if this was blue water, this would be almost white, this splash. In the cartoon sense, in the comic booky cartoon realm, obviously. Let's see, is that... No, I don't really like that. Oh, I think I do kind of like it with a little gradation to it. Normally I do not. Huh. I'm surprising myself right now. Let me try this. We're gonna play with that gradation. You know what? These almost look like candy corns shooting out of the ground. The dreaded Candy Corn Creek. Yep, I think I'm liking something like this. Gonna do that, and then I am going to go ahead and select the orange, lower the opacity, and create a little blend out of there. Similar in effect to what we did on the trees. We'll select our bright color again and go back and do some highlights on this water here. The splashing around. I really enjoy doing water effects sometimes, even simple ones like these. We're gonna have plenty of stuff like that in Hammerella. Gonna always be playing with the environment and then the effects the environment has. The characters and the illustration. All right, so we got that splash, that splash. Dang, we're... Save your file run before... You know what? Not a bad idea. Let's go in. We are going to share this as a PSD. And we are going to take that. I send it to Dropbox. And we are going to 2020 Hammerella Illos. Oh, you know what? We forgot to name it. Export unsuccessful. You know what? We'll do that in just a minute. Thank you for the heads up, though. Bad habit of mine, have to have multiple files. Yes. I'm at least going to close out here for a second. Let it save in there. Oh, you know what? You guys want to take a look? I colored up my Fragtober Wolverine zombie. If you didn't see that online, here we go. I gave him these highlights. I was trying to think that the skin has worn down and his metal skull is starting to reflect through the thin flesh. So that's what those highlights are. It doesn't quite read like that. It just looks like he has glossy skin. But I was pretty happy with that. We were cranking these out within a couple hours from concept to final product. To be fair, I didn't do colors for my final product. Mine was just this black and white piece. And I totally forgot they had already done Marvel Zombies, so I don't know if this looks like Wolverine did in that or what. Leatherface Wolverine. It does kind of have that effect, especially in color. I wonder if anyone's ever done Chainsaw Wolverine with like individual chainsaws coming out of there. Render. It just cuts into you. Kind of funny. So anyways, got that. And then the one we did a couple nights later was the bomb or the nose art inspired contest where this was the World War II nose art, and then you brought in two characters to mash up. I forgot we were supposed to mash them, or I didn't realize we're supposed to mash them into one character. But I made two separate characters. But that's what I came up with. I didn't win any prizes or anything. So thank you. Thank you, Simonin. Zombie Wolvie, you really did a good piece there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kaiju. Awesome. Never seen that look. Hey, all right, Ferris, good. She looks cute. Yeah, I was fairly happy with her result. I get extremely happy about little things like the shape of her foot and her holding her little toe up like that. And then also I was very happy with her hand and her finger reaching out like that. Just little subtle tricks, or not tricks, just little subtle character actions I like to do. And what else do we have here? You know, I can secretly, I can sneak this. This is a project I'm coloring over Trevor Denham. I highly recommend following Trevor Denham. Denham, Denham. He's a good friend of mine, and he's an awesome illustrator. And this is a sci-fi book we're working on. I don't want to give away the name or anything yet. Probably shouldn't even be showing these, but yeah, he's doing it's just pencils. It looks like pencils and ink. And then I'm doing this sort of painting over it. Here it is without the line art, you can see. It's pretty fun without the line art too. Hey, what's up, Art C? What's up, William C? We got the people who have C at the end of their name but spell it differently have shown up at the same time. So this is just showing off a project I'm coloring. We just finished coloring up a Hammerella page, or at least I think coloring up a Hammerella page. And this is a project I'm coloring over Trevor Denham, and I highly recommend you guys check out his work. And then this is the latest card art that has been revealed. This card has not been released. Major RBT1, he is a cyborg pilot for the Blue Astra team. You can see him in his light racer there. And he's actually turned into one of my favorite characters to write so far. He started off as sort of like their Data, their C-3PO, but I didn't want him to be annoying. I wanted him to be fun, and I didn't want him to be like super cheesy and comical. So he was actually tough to write, but now I have his character down, and he's actually one of my favorite characters, and I have a lot of big plans for him in the Gods and Gears universe. So get used to Major RBT1. Check the chat again, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, those of you that showed up here new, I'll show you we'll get back to that Hammerella page. I needed to give my eyes a break for a second. So here we go. I wonder if I lower the brightness, if that affects the colors on the camera. Actually, I think that came out a little more accurate to how it looks in reality. It's super dark for me right now, but you guys are getting a more accurate look at it. So I think I might be done for now. I got one idea. Classic me. I might be done. No, wait. I'm gonna go back to that highlight layer. Let's see. I'm gonna choose Hammerella's palette. That bright yellow. Let's get our awesome color brush too. And I just want to see what it looks like. I'm going to select the trees, go back to our highlight layer, and I want to see if giving the trees a little bit of a highlight does anything. Sometimes something like that can, it might be more realistic, but sometimes it throws off the eye. So just always test stuff out. So it's great about coloring digitally, so you can test it out. And if you color traditionally, always have a test piece that you're working on before you throw down real color, watercolor, or gouache over your work. Yeah, I don't hate the highlights so far. I think it adds a little bit of dimension to the tree. I think we're gonna keep it. So then we kind of got two sources of light on the tree. We got this backlight that's creating this little bit of a rim light, and then we've got a highlight that's kind of coming in from the reflected light in the forest off the ground and the trees and everything else. Okay, so our water's done. The ground is done. Our wolves and Hammerella look done. We're gonna just look at them for a second. See if I actually want to add anything, because I'm starting to think I may want to add something. Let's see what the chat's saying here. See. Speaking of Dunham, check out Green Street Hooligans, Charlie Dunham's breakout role, highly underrated with Elijah Wood, also Christian Bale in Equilibrium. Yeah, Green Street Hooligans, I'm definitely going to check that out. I've heard good things. Are trees going to be color holds? That's not a bad idea either. I don't mind doing that sometimes. It really creates a good sense of depth. It would be fairly easy to do here. We could try it out. If I did that, it would be sort of a dark red. You know what? We can select just that layer. I've got that as its own layer even. Look at that. Thinking ahead so that when smart people like Ferris show up with good questions, we can experiment. So I am going to choose, let's see, I'm going to select the red from the wolves, but we're going to go a little deeper than that. And I'm going to start by airbrushing it. You know what? No, we're just going to fill the layer. See how that looks. Okay, so that's too bright. Too bright so far. Let's go a little deeper on the color. And then we'll fill that. That's closer. That's closer. It's creating a little depth. As I zoom, it gets a little darker. That's closer. I'm thinking you might be onto something here, Ferris. You don't get your name in the book just for that though, buddy. Let's see. I'm gonna go a little darker, still keep it in the red. Oops, and fill there. It's harder to see on the camera, but it looks really good in person right here, right now. See if that shows the difference. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. If I go back and forth, you can see the difference. Oh, not right there, but at this size, I feel like you can see the difference. Barely. I don't know. It looks really good. I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to upload this in just a little bit on Twitter, and you can see how it looks. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to call it there tonight, folks. I have to go eat dinner. It's 7:15 here. Sunday night. I think we're going to cook up some Japanese food. Going to do some chicken and some curry and some rice. Let's see, blue, purple. Oh, you want me to try some different things? Let's see. I can select that layer. We can go into hue, saturation, brightness, and let's see. Let's slide it around. Let's see if. Oh, here. Let's do a quick slide. See if the color changes show up on screen. They do, but just barely. Man, I wish the effect is so minimal on camera right now. Welcome, Rick Joseph. It does kind of switch the effect. What's funny is I don't like it black at all anymore. Now in my head, it's like, no, it's got to be the color hold now. Let's go. That's let me get it blue. I like the kind of bluish purpley saturation. Whoa, that's too blue. And let's play with the brightness a little. Whoa. That'll take us back to black. I don't know. I think I just like it red. I'm really happy with it red. Again, it's hard to see. See, when I zoom out, you can see the red. And as we zoom in on the camera anyways, it seems to shift back to black. But it's still red, see? It's still red. So anyways, I will post this, you guys. You guys can check it out there. If you haven't checked out Hammerella, the link is down below. We did extend, so we got 29 more days, and I think we're going to have something cool to announce that we're going to be adding to the book tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Feel free to hit subscribe if you have not. Hit like if you enjoyed hanging out and you want to see more of this. If you have questions about coloring, let me know down below and I can try to answer them in tomorrow's video. I'm not only going to be doing inking videos, we're going to be doing coloring videos and stuff like that too. Red is good, Cinnamon 7. Red kind of draws your eye. Yes, thank you, Ferris, for the good idea on the color hold. That's one of the fun things about joining into a live stream, is if you don't have the studio life going on, you get that other point of view. You get that, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? And sometimes that can just lead you down the right road. Film focus technique. Yes, sir. So anyways, thank you all for watching. We are going to sign off now. The link for Hammerella is down below. Also check out Wirehead and congratulate Spencer and Jeff on City of Rot because it funded yesterday and they're soaring above and beyond now. They got a few more days on that. I'm going to be here all week and I'm going to be other places all week. And until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take it easy.